one question I want to pose to the group because this has to be on all of our minds, and I'm surprised we're
Kicking.
a half hour in. Yeah.
Go
When
for it.
well, my question is with that too is do we all talked about this as a group weeks ago, 3 4 however many weeks ago it was, and I think at the time we all agreed, and I certainly would have agreed with this back then, that the way that Zimmer handled kickers was wrong, and we need to let the guy or guys, whatever it might be, punter, kicker, whatever, work through their issues, and then try not to attack him, try to fill him with confidence, because all these kickers are generally really talented. It's kind of like spot up shooters in basketball, right? Like every NBA player for the most part can shoot and shoot really well. The difference is, can they shoot live in an NBA game when all the pressure's on the line, you're facing NBA players? That's the difference. So all these guys can kick. It's just, can they kick in a real game scenario with the pressure and the line? And so my question to you guys is, do we still continue to try to get him out of the slump? Because clearly he is in it. I don't know if it's getting better. It might even be getting worse. Or do we bring in competition, or does that make what we have worse? So that's just, I know that's the $1 million question, but I wanted to pose that to the group.
I started off with the kicking situation. This is gonna sound real weird to you guys. I think that Miss PAT won us the game because if you think about it from that standpoint, if he makes that field goal, then it's 3 points, right? When the Vikings got the ball back, they were like highly aggressive to score to win the game. You get what I'm saying? Like it kind of changed it for me. Like I was pissed, like, oh man, he missed the kick again. But it's like it changed the complexity because it was like you got to score touchdowns to win this game now. You know, you there's nothing. The kicking is completely out of it now, and I do agree. Like they shouldn't have brought a kicker in the during the bye. I would have thought so, but it's kind of like it's kind of like the Odell situation to me. It's like you got people saying Odell's going to go to a team and be good. It's kind of too late to kind of bring a kicker in right now to try to see if he can kick because he hasn't been in anybody's camp or like what do? You take a kicker off somebody's practice squad? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you got to roll with it, and you got to get to the point to where it's like, if it's 45 yards or or less, let him kick it. And if it's fourth and whatever, you just gonna have to start going for it. That's just how
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be now.
And I
Go ahead,
agree with
Daniel.
you, David. I think at this point in the season, there's not just kickers lying around that are going to come in and be better. But
Yeah.
I think it is worth bringing in a guy to just
Mm-hmm.
compete because that might give Joseph that much extra incentive to shape up, to figure out what's going wrong and fix it. Because inside 50 yards, he's still money. He's 100%.
Right.
Like the guy can nail those field goals, and that's what we've basically been missing as Vikings fans for so many years, is a guy who can just consistently make field goals. And he's been able to provide that. Now, outside of 50, he's struggled obviously this year, and then PATs is a detriment. But this was the first real opportunity for it to really cost us a game. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
had the other misses throughout this year where it's been close games and we've come
Right.
out with wins, but this one looked like this one might actually cost us this football game. Is this Miss PAT? Now, are we waiting for that point? Because that game might actually come in the playoffs and then season's over.
Right.
When we finally wait to change things up because he missed a big PAT and it cost us in the playoffs. But we're not there yet. This is just regular season, but I think it's worth bringing in another guy just to see what they got. Like I say, I don't think we change it up at this point, but I think it's worth a look.
I agree.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the answer. It was a good faith question, and I agree with both of you guys for different reasons. Like, I think bringing in competition, it just depends on the kicker. And I don't know Greg Joseph certainly as much as our coaching staff. If they feel like that's going to push him, then do it. And
Mm-hmm.
then, but if they also feel like that's going to break him down and make this situation worse, then obviously we don't want that either. So I'm sure it is a delicate situation, one that they're actively trying to figure out. Um, Hopefully he gets it right. But I mean, Daniel, to your point, like at some point we're going to need him to be on. And when you face these good teams, I mean, we saw it today. It's the little things. We're going to need him to be on and make this situation answer. It was a good.
I agree with I agree with that because it is something that the Vikings seem to. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just going to throw it to Tony. Tony, go ahead and talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the answer. It was a good faith question, and I agree with both of you guys for different reasons. Like, I think bringing in competition, it just depends on the kicker. And I don't know Greg Joseph certainly as much as our coaching staff. If they feel like that's going to push him, then do it. And then, but if they also feel like that's going to break him down and make this situation worse, then obviously we don't want that either. So I'm sure it is a delicate situation, one that they're actively trying to figure out. Hopefully he gets it right. But I mean, Daniel, to your point, like at some point we're going to need him to be on. And when you face these good teams, I mean, we saw it today. It's the little things here and there, and we're not always going to get bailed out by these crazy moments, but we're bound to have crazy moments going the other way where we need him. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll hopefully we'll figure it out, or he'll figure it out. But it is something that I was hoping to see kind of correct itself, and it just seems to me like it's not going away. And we just I don't it just I can't remember the last game where I felt super confident in him. So it's just or in any kicker, but that's just my Vikings fandom. But
Now I know where I was going to go. There is not a Justin Tucker just lying around, and that's exactly kind of what you guys were making the point of. Yeah, exactly. But there's not another one just lying around. You know, there's just not a solution that's available right now. They're going to have to wait till this offseason to get a kicker and hope that they are the solution, or they're going to have to draft one or something. But yeah, Greg Joseph definitely needs to go at some point. And I go back to this. That's why I loved the Minneapolis Miracle so much with Diggs. It's because the Vikings didn't have to kick the game-winning field goal. I know that was Kai Forbath, different kicker, but the Vikings, Diggs is like, you know what? Forget the field goal. I'm going to score the touchdown and end this thing right now. Forget the kicker. Get out of here. And that's why I love the Minneapolis Miracle so much. That's why I love Diggs so much. Yeah, so we'll always love Diggs for that moment.